Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby and I'm with Fitness is Medicine. I've been bringing you home videos that you can do in your home for 6 months now almost. And today I'm going to show you how to use a Bosu trainer. So I've had a few people ask me, I've got one of these in my house, what do I do with it? And the answer is you can do a lot with it. I'm going to show you 6 things to do with it today. Importantly, you can flip it over and use either side, but you never want to stand on this flat part. So if you're going to do anything standing on it, flip it over and stand on the dome and make sure you're standing next to something sturdy to hang on to, as it will challenge your balance quite a bit. Okay, so we're going to start off with some push-ups here. So make sure you press pause and do a good warm-up before you come into this. Do 5 or 10 minutes around your block or up and down your stairs, as I always say. And we're going to start with some push-ups. So I flipped my Bosu over so that I can have a nice flat surface for my hands. And actually the nice thing about doing push-ups on a Bosu is you can kind of change how the angle is for your hands, and it could be a little bit easier, but you can put your hands out here. I like to put my hands kind of right where this little handle is here. And you can do them on your knees and actually work on form. It's a little bit easier, I feel, than just on the floor because it's a little bit of an elevated surface. So it does wobble a little, that is the challenge. But if you're ready to try a full push-up on your toes, you want to still make sure your shoulders are over your hands. You lower yourself down and push up. So just like a normal push-up, you want to think about keeping your head in line with your spine. Don't dip that head down. Keeping it all in line so that you have less shoulder and neck strain. So you can also try it on your knees. And like I said, you can change the angle where your hands are, and I feel like it's just a little bit easier than doing them on the floor, especially when you're on your knees, because you've got that shorter lever and you've got that heightened platform to do them on. Okay, so those are push-ups with the Bosu flipped around. Next, we're going to flip it back around, and we're going to do some squats on the Bosu. So there's different ways you can do these as well, but I'm going to show you to start off with one foot on top of the Bosu. The other one is going to stay stable on the ground. So as I always recommend, do this somewhere where you can hang on to something, whether you do it at your kitchen sink. This might slide though on a tile surface, or you could do them next to a railing. I could do them next to my treadmill so I can hang on. But it's just like a normal squat. You're still gonna sit back like this. And you wanna try to put equal weight on both legs. When you stand up, it's gonna go more to your left leg. So this is actually gonna be just a little bit more taxing on the leg that's on the ground. So we're gonna do 10 this way. You can always add a weight in one hand or both hands here. Remember to sit back. My hips are going straight back so that I protect my knees. I still want to keep my knees directly over my ankles as much as possible so that when I squat down, I can look down and see my toes. I don't want to be out here. You want to be straight back. So we're going to do 10 on this side. I like to put my arms out when I do a squat. It helps with my center of balance to make sure that I'm sitting back, keeping my chest up tall, and I'm looking forward. Okay, and then we'll switch sides. Move that over a little. Put it right directly on top. You can also put it a little bit on the side, but I don't want that knee to cave in. So putting it right on top of the Bosu, and you've got a nice wide stance here, sit back into that squat. So we're sitting back, sitting our hips back like we're gonna sit down into a chair, trying to keep your ankles directly beneath the knees. Try to make that squat right down in between both of your feet when you do squat down. You're going to stand up more onto that foot on the floor. And like I said, you can hang on to a weight, make this a little more difficult. Hang on to something up here, which will help you sit back. Okay, good. Next, we're going to sit down on top of the Bosu, and we're going to do some ab crunches. So there's a lot of different ways you can do abs on the Bosu. It's a good balance trainer and can be used for so many different things. Lots of core possibilities. So I'm going to sit kind of up on the front edge just a little bit with my knees bent and my weight on the heels here of my feet. Cross your arms over your shoulders. You can actually start with your hands on your thighs. So you're going to lean back and slide forward. That's probably the best way to start. I want to keep my back nice and tall. I don't want to crunch down like this. Keep it nice and tall, good posture. And then if that feels okay, bring your hands to your shoulders here. Lean back, come on up. Keep that tension in your abs. And then if you do need a little more from here, you can bring your hands up here. Just make sure you're still keeping your head in line. You don't want to yank on your neck with your hands. It's just to give you a little bit longer lever. So I'm really just placing my hands behind my head. So go ahead and do 10 or 15. Get a good challenge, get a good contraction in those abdominal muscles. Okay, next, this is an important one to make sure you stand next to something stable, because we're going to get up on top of the Bosu. So I want you to do marches, and this can be extremely hard if you have any ankle or toe or knee or foot problems. So if you do and you try this and it hurts, just stop, don't continue. But getting up on top of the Bosu will challenge your balance immediately, and sometimes it might just be good to just try to stand on it. If this is your very first time using it, just try to stand, but do it next to something stable so you can hang on and you don't fall and hurt yourself. So I'm going to stand up here and I'm going to march. So the goal is to do it slowly so that you're controlled. Usually if you do it more quickly, it's easier because it's, you're putting your foot down more quickly. You're not having to balance as long on that one foot. So we're going to do nice, slow, high knee marches. Again, I've got this to hang on to if I were to lose my balance. And some people never let go of whatever they're standing next to, and that's okay, because you're still working those feet and ankle and toe muscles all the way up the chain. Your hips are having to work to stabilize on that one foot. Your core is working to keep you balanced. So it's a really good balance, core, and lower extremity exercise. Okay, after you've done 10 or 20, you can decide what is a good challenge for you on this. You can do it for a minute, you can do it for 10 on each side. If you can only march a couple of times, that's okay. Then the next time try a couple more. Keep challenging yourself. Okay, now we're going to flip this back over again and do a plank. So there's a few different ways we can do the plank. I'll bring that down just a little. So flip it over just like the push-up, and we'll just hold that plank right here. So this is one way. You can obviously do it from your knees, just like we did those push-ups. You can lower down and do your elbows and hold it like this. Regardless of how you choose to do it, make sure your elbows or your hands are directly beneath your shoulders. Your head is in line with the rest of your spine. And you want to keep your hips down. So you want a straight line, no matter where you're doing this. You want a straight line from the top of your head, either to your knees or to your heels from here, however you decide to do it. If you do it on your elbows, sometimes it helps to put a little cushion or even a towel on there, except if it's hurting your elbows. But regardless of where you are, you want your hands or your elbows directly beneath your shoulders, holding a nice straight line. The goal is to do about 30 seconds. If you need to start with 10 seconds and then take a break, try 10 more seconds. Try to add it up to 30 seconds per set. Okay, so that's the plank. And finally, we're going to flip it over one more time. And we're gonna do lunge forward sort of push-ups. So it's not really a lunge, but it's a good balance exercise. And lower extremity. So you're gonna step forward onto the top and push back. Step on the top, push back. So it's actually a really good way to start doing a lunge. You're adding that balance challenge, but you're able to put your knees and ankles in the right position. So if you do have struggles with doing lunges, this might be a good way to start off, because if it does bother your knees, this is just a little easier to keep that alignment that we're looking for. So if I could draw a straight line from my knees to my ankles here, I don't want to be out here. You don't want that shear force going through your knee. You want to just land right on top and push back. And you can start really close. This is a really big balance challenge. Also, do it next to something stable so you can grab on if you do lose your balance. Push up. The goal is to do 10 on each side, and then circle back and do the rest of the exercises again a couple more times through. All right, one more time. Those are 6 exercises you can do on your Bosu. So if you want to make your workout a little longer, press pause, go do some cardio, do these again, just like I say each time, but try to go through these all 2 to 3 times to really work on that strength. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you.